Hey, how's it going? I had something weird happen today. This this weird Bible that I got that I didn't like when I first got it. I just bought it because it was a different Bible and I'd never heard of it before. The Compass Bible. And what's really weird is the only reason I bought this Bible was because I was trying to meet a lady that I had worked with who was my manager. Her name was Angel, and I just wanted to tell her that I wasn't angry at her, that my life was turning out good, and that everything was exactly as planned. Now it just feels like train wreck, but I wound up in trying to, I don't know. I had some bad things happen to me at the hands of Walmart. I probably could have sued the company, to be honest with you. I, I probably should have sued the company, to be honest with you. When you're broke, it's different, right? Um, and but I just wanted to let her know that my faith in God had given me the power to like to be able to forgive and forget and kind of thing. But what's weird is when I was there, I remember buying this. When I locked up, kidding me. Unbelievable. Bought this Compass Bible. Wow, no respect at all. Um, but when I looked in here, well, I immediately opened it up to John 17. It was like weird. I just said, I'm going to flip it open and see what it says. So I opened it up to John 17, and I read, lifting his face to the heavens, Father, my time has come. Glorify your Son, and I will bring you great glory because you have given me total authority over humanity. And I wouldn't say that total authority over humanity is kind of pressing it, but in the least, total authority over yourself. And that's about the point where I agree to it. But what I wanted to look at was John 7:17 to see what it said. If anyone is willing to act according to his purposes and is open to hearing truth, he will know the source of my teaching. That's like huge. If anyone is willing to act according to his purposes, but what are your purposes? Are you for good or for evil? That's what it's talking about when it's talking about turning the children's hearts back to their fathers so that you know where you're coming from. And I guess to accept it then, maybe, right? If anyone is willing to act according to his purposes, and is open to hearing truth. Now remember, it says his purposes, as in God's purposes, or more appropriately, the Lord's purposes. Well, guess what? The Lord purposes light. He also purposes darkness. He purposes good, peace. He also purposes calamity and evil. He does all those things. If a man speaks of his own words, and this one says constantly quoting himself, he is after adulation. But I chase only after glory for the one who sent me. And that's the thing. Who sent? Are you sent? Whose name do you come in? Do you come in your own name, or do you claim to come in the name of the Lord? There's only two choices. See, it's weird. You kind of get painted into a corner like that, right? It's like you're either a devil or not. You can't serve both masters, and there are two masters. Oh, this dog reminds me of my dog Ethel. Kind of got that color. I do not claim ownership of my own words. I added own. I do not claim ownership of my words. They are a gift from the one who sent me. If anyone is willing to act according to his purposes and is open to hearing truth, he will know the source of my teaching. Does it come from God or from me? If a man speaks of his own words, constantly quoting himself, he's after his own glory. But I chase only after the glory for the one who sent me. My intention is authentic and true. You'll find no wrong motives in me. Moses gave you the law, didn't he? And how can you blatantly ignore the law and look for an opportunity to kill me? And then the crowd said, you must be possessed with a demon. Who's trying to kill you? Well, if you think ill of somebody in your heart, guess what? Listen, all it took was for me to do one thing, heal a crippled man, and you all were astonished. And you know what's funny? I actually, I am actually party to the healing of a crippled man when I was in high school. I had a friend who, his name is Dennis Paul McClintock Jr., and the doctors told him he would never walk without crutches and braces and all of this stuff. He had, remember, you'd ever seen that movie Forrest Gump? Where poor Forrest is, he's wearing like, well, I don't know. He was like Cyborg before it really existed, right? I mean, would have been cool if they could have took all of his braces and put like hydraulic gear on it or some shit. He would have been like Terminator, right? But yeah, that's what this poor kid looked like. He looked like Forrest Gump. He had those leg braces and he had those crutches that went all up his arms and everything. And well, guess what? Maybe it would have happened eventually, but because he met me, he got a hard lesson in life because I threw him down the stairs and broke up his crutches and braces. And then you want to know what happened? Well, we proved the doctors to be liars because without all the aid of his crutches and braces and all this stuff, and him wanting to become a teenager that was going to actually start growing and maturing, guess what? Oh, I don't know. He wound up being about 300 pounds of bull ultimately. But in high school, he not only could then walk, but he learned how to run. Well, because he learned how to walk without I said crutches and brutches, crutches and braces. He was like really happy. I mean, imagine being healed of spending your whole life walking around with braces and everything, right? Hobbling around, and then what happens at 13 years old? Suddenly you can walk and run and everything, and like yeah, that was the end of that. So and then because he was happy about it, of course he had to convince me to join the school's cross country team. But in an odd way, and this is weird because something good happened, right? You know, it seemed like I was mean for him falling down the stairs. We were just playing, you don't think of that when you're kids, right? It's like I didn't look at his crutches. It was like I didn't judge him for his outside thing. He was my friend. We all wrestle and play around and whatever. It was like, oh wow, I just didn't think, I loved you so much. I didn't think you'd fall down the stairs and break all your mechanical gear all apart. But thank God, right? And he was so happy that he got me to join the school cross country team with him, and we ran uh, as Rams, the Revis Rams. So I'm a Ram. Sacrifice me. I'm caught in a thicket here. Um, and he, I don't, was it the first meet? Maybe the first or second meet. I can't remember. But they made me the rabbit because I really wasn't the greatest. I couldn't, I don't know. Running is bullshit to me. Um, Running is what you do when you got to get away from somebody, and hopefully you're young enough to be able to do it, right? But we were in one meet, and this kid was behind me running, and I could hear him panting and grunting as he was going. And this kid was behind me all the way to the line, and I was what on a cross country team they have what's called a rabbit. It's the guy who takes off fast. You're not expected to run and finish the race. Just got to make it. You got to get. But the idea is you'll burn out their guys in the front. Well, I would always finish the race, but this guy was behind me, and I could hear him back there. When we ran, and it's funny in those days, and back then in those days, they had these damn claw things on your shoes. You got running shoes. They fitted you with from the supply, and they put these damn spikes on there. And I mean they're like, if you were to step on the back of somebody's leg with those, oh man, I couldn't even imagine what happened. So this guy was kind of like motivating me, keep it going, because he was right behind me, and I was like, I didn't want to let him pass me, just lay down and let him pass me, but he was there. And so he drove me all the way across the finish line, and I wound up finishing in front of him. But as we passed, he get funneled into a little gate. He collapsed on the ground and passed out. And I think he was just, I don't know who he was. Maybe he was their best guy, and I caused them to lose or whatever. I was the rabbit, and I caught, and he was like, "You bastard." He was the one person that actually succumbed to what the rabbit is supposed to do, right? cause cause havoc in the structure of uh, logistics, how we're going to win this thing. And but like I said, he passed out on the ground. I heard him hit the ground, boom, and I turned around. I felt so bad, and I turned around and I gave him my tongue suppressor, because when they funnel you in, they give you a tongue suppressor with your position on it, fourth, fifth, sixth, 28th, whatever, right? And I turned around and I grabbed the guy's tongue suppressor and I threw mine onto him, just onto him like his chest. And I said, "Here, you," and I went, "Here, you deserve this," like that. And then because I did that, I don't know if there's some unwritten law of whoever has tongue suppressor, but apparently I invoked some kind of rage within my, the coach who ran our cross country team, and I got kicked off. So, for my kind thoughts. uh, but anyway, I felt shit, man. If that guy gave it all he had and he passed out at the line, he deserved to win too, right? You know what I mean? He really did everything he could. And that's all you can ask from somebody. Just do all you can. And it's like, what? And that's when I would go, oh yeah, okay, next, and then I would interview the next person. I go, and they're like, yeah, I get it. Okay, this person has the spirit. They understand, right? The other person's failed before they even got started, right? They see what the task is at hand and they're already, looking for the paycheck. So there you go. Listen, all it took was for me to do one thing, heal a crippled man. And you all were astonished. Don't you remember how Moses passed down circumcision as a tradition of our ancestors? When you pick up a knife to circumcise on the Sabbath, isn't that work? If a male is circumcised on the Sabbath to keep the law of Moses intact, how can making one man whole on the Sabbath be a cause for your violent rage? Wow, look at how that's worded. You should not judge by outward appearance. When you judge, search for what is right and just. Now, it kind of took a left turn there, didn't it? Because it says, make a whole man intact, and then turns to, you should not judge. How can making one man whole on the Sabbath be cause for your violent rage? Do you know that on the first Sabbath, something very, very strange happened? Okay. Because on the first Sabbath, there was a rest. There was a rest between all things that were made and created. Now, if you read Isaiah 45:7, it'll tell you that peace is made, but darkness and evil are created by the Lord. All of those things. I wonder how that reads in this book, Isaiah 45:7. Think I could find it that fast? It has no markers, right? So I'd just be going like, no, sorry, Jeremiah 23. Didn't he live his life as a righteous and fair man? Okay, let's find Isaiah. That's actually in here. That's Isaiah 23, 15, it looks like. Somewhere around there. Isaiah, huh? Isaiah 42, 4. This one rips through the verses. And I'm not a fan of translations, but I want to see what this says. I form light and I create darkness. I make what is good, happy, and healthy, and I create woe. I, the Eternal One, make them one and all. I would say make them all as one would be better. But it says, I form light and create darkness. I make what is good, happy, and healthy, and I create woe. It's interesting that they use three terms: good, happy, and healthy, and I create woe. Now, if you read that in the Hebrew, it would say, I form light and I create darkness. I make peace and I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Wow. I, the Eternal One, make them one and all. It's not wrong. Skies, skies above open up and let the clouds rain down righteousness. Now, notice this always comes from two directions, right? Skies above open up and let the clouds rain down righteousness. Let the earth below sprout triumph and justice. See, there's water above and water below. And you want to know, in all honesty, what the water below is? It's right here. This is watering the face of the ground. Remember, we're dirt. Adam means dirt. Watering the face of the ground. There's two kingdoms that can exist. One of them is with laughter. The other one is brother against brother, hand against hand, which is sounds like just like a two-way battle, but it's actually worse than that. It's way worse than that, because not only is it brother against brother, but hand against hand is like being in the midst of God, being in a battle with himself. You know how bad that could get? But then you're saying, how can God be in a battle with himself? Because we're his body. So we're the part of the bad people. You know, it says that the wicked are reserved for the day of judgment. Well, it doesn't mean that that's later. It means that when wickedness is going on, that's judgment day. It's weird. I love this book. Oh, I see you, and you have judged me by saying that I'm trying to understand what I am attempting to understand. No, I understand. I'm reading this book because it's just a different translation. I understand completely what's going on here. I understand that I am a son of man and you are a son of man, and that we have to pick which father it is that we're going to serve. And you only get a choice. I can't even say a choice of two. You get a choice that is literally yes or no. If you won't serve him, then you are serving him. Like that. My phone rings. No, no, no. You did judge. See, that's sad because now you're saying that you see, but you don't see. Because what did you do? You said that you're judging me, that you think I'm trying to understand, right? So you did have to make a judgment call there, right? Just go like this. I understand everything totally. What I don't understand is why I have to waste my time for 5 years straight when a pandemic could have been avoided, a war in Israel could have been avoided. Do you realize that war started on the last day of a festival when everybody in the world is supposed to be invited to it, except the people who are on the other side of the fence that just happened to pick all the food for the harvest festival? That's kind of odd, isn't it? The people who are the outcasts. Do you know Palestinian means immigrant? If that doesn't just say I am a stranger in a strange land, nothing else does as much as that, right? And so you got to take those things and put it into perspective. We're fighting against we're fighting against God, all of us, and I can explain it. I'm a prophet, and I'm tired. I'm really tired. Uh, it's different for me. See, I'm like a lawyer. Okay, I'm not on anybody's side. I'm just reading the rule book, the Bible, and I'm deciding who's at fault. And it doesn't look good. That's all I got. All because you failed to read my first comment. Now you're assuming. I like this part. This is where he gets pissed off. And I know that the world doesn't revolve around me, sir. Oh, wait. Sorry. No, but read everything I shared, please. No, I'm not going to scroll up my screen. Type it again. I'm tired of scrolling around. If it's important, you can type it again. Scroll back and cut and paste it, copy it, maybe. I'm tired of repeating myself. I've been doing this for 5 years. And I think that at some level, the disrespect that I've been shown should fall back upon the people that showed me such disrespect. Don't you think that's fair? How much do I have to give out? Well, how much do I have to suffer personally? You know? Mm, wow. Yeah, I'm having a personal issue. I see a planet that can't read a Bible. I see a whole host of theologians that don't want to understand that can somebody be sent of God? Let me ask you something. Whose name do you come in? You only get one of two choices. It's either your own or the Lord's, right? You on board? Well, I'm tired of people that want to study books and they can't see their error. It troubles me, right? I have family members that are going to be engaged in perhaps wars and who knows what because of a bunch of fools that don't understand a sword that has taken peace from the earth, right? We either submit to something unseen or we'll fall to the reality of that. And it's all written already. It's crazy. Oh, I'm hungry. I need to eat food. I don't know, man. I need burnt meat right now. So I'm going to go. I'll see you guys later. Uh, hopefully not, God willing.